Have you ever told yourself, relax, it's just a friendship, but deep inside, something whispered, is it really? That small voice? It's not random. It's your mind noticing something your words are trying to ignore. And today, we're talking about that exact space, the confusing, emotional, slightly awkward space where opposite gender friendships live. Now don't panic, I'm not here to say every friendship turns into love. But let's be real, it's rarely as simple as we pretend. Think about it. If your closest friend from the opposite gender suddenly said, I think I like you, would you be completely shocked? Or would there be a tiny part of you that goes, okay, that kind of makes sense? That makes sense feeling is where the truth begins. Let me tell you a story. Rahul and Ananya were the definition of just friends. Same college, same friend circle, same jokes. They spent hours together laughing over nothing, sharing random thoughts, roasting each other like professionals. And every time someone teased them, they had the same reply, relax, we're just friends. But here's what no one talks about. Rahul always noticed the little things about Ananya. If she changed her hairstyle, he noticed. If she was quiet, he noticed. If she was upset, he felt it before she even said anything. He told himself, that's what good friends do. And Ananya? She trusted Rahul more than anyone else. Late-night talks, random calls, emotional breakdowns. Rahul was always the first person she reached out to. She told herself, he's just my comfort person. Sounds normal, right? But here's where things quietly shift. When you start sharing everything with someone, your thoughts, your feelings, your fears, you create something deeper than casual friendship. You build emotional closeness. And emotional closeness has a strange way of blurring lines. It doesn't scream, this is love. It whispers, this feels different. And most people ignore that whisper. Now here's a funny situation. You say, I would never date my friend. Full confidence, no hesitation, but then one day they start dating someone else and suddenly, you feel something weird. Not exactly jealousy. Not exactly anger. Just discomfort. You don't like it, but you don't understand why. You sit there thinking, wait, why is this bothering me? Exactly. Back to Rahul. When Ananya started dating someone, Rahul tried to act normal. He even said, nice, I'm happy for you. But inside? Something felt off. He started noticing how often she was busy. How her attention shifted. How things weren't the same anymore, and the worst part, he couldn't even explain his own feelings because in his head, he kept repeating, I'm just her friend. Ananya felt it too. She missed their random conversations. She noticed Rahul pulling away. And sometimes, in quiet moments, she wondered, why does this feel like I'm losing something important? But she never said it out loud, because for both of them the label just friends felt safe, and that's the thing. Sometimes, people hide behind that label not because it's true but because it's easier than facing the truth. Here's the reality. When two people of opposite genders spend a lot of time together, understand each other deeply, and emotionally support each other, there is always a chance that feelings might show up. Not always love. Not always attraction, but something. Maybe curiosity, and maybe attachment. Maybe a quiet what if, and that what if is powerful. Now here comes the twist. Sometimes, both people feel it but neither says anything. Why? Because they're scared of ruining what they already have. Scared of rejection. Scared that if things go wrong, they might lose each other completely. So they choose silence and they call it friendship. Let me give you a simple real-life moment. Imagine you're sitting with your friend at a cafe. You're laughing, talking, everything feels easy. And suddenly, for just 1 second, a thought crosses your mind. What if this was a date? You don't say it. You don't act on it. But that one thought? It changes how you see everything, because once that idea enters your mind you can't fully go back. Now let's finish Rahul and Ananya's story. Months passed. Things became distant. Not broken, just different. The comfort wasn't the same anymore. The conversations felt slightly forced, and one day, Rahul finally said it. I think I liked you, maybe I still do. There was no dramatic reaction. No shock. Ananya just looked at him quietly and said, I think I knew. That's it. No surprise. No confusion, because deep down they both felt it all along. They just didn't want to admit it, and that's the big truth. Opposite gender friendships aren't fake. They're real, meaningful, and sometimes even stronger than relationships, but they're rarely simple. They exist in a space where emotions don't follow clear rules. Where care can slowly turn into something deeper. Where one moment can change how you see everything, and honestly, that's what makes them so special and so complicated. Some of the strongest emotional connections in life come from these friendships. They teach you about understanding, trust, and care, sometimes without ever becoming love, but they leave you with something powerful. A memory, a feeling, a question. What could have been? And maybe that's okay, and not every story needs a perfect ending. Some are meant to stay unfinished but unforgettable. So the next time someone says, "We're just friends," don't be so quick to believe it or judge it, because behind those two simple words there could be a whole story no one talks about. And if you're in a friendship like this, just be honest with yourself. You don't have to label it, but don't ignore what you feel either, because sometimes the most real emotions are the ones we never say out loud. And if this made you think about someone, that one person, don't just scroll away like nothing happened. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with that friend who's definitely going to say, "This is literally us." Trust me, they'll feel it too.